Good morning, everybody. Chuck here with No Time to Be Sad. Today is going to be another quick, well, nothing with me is ever quick, but I'm going to update you on what's going on. I promised everybody I would send them updates as soon as I got them. So we're still kind of in a mass state of confusion, but let me tell you what I have. Let me start out by saying on the last update, I've got a lot of awesome comments in the comment section, people sharing their experiences and how they overcame some of their frustrations, or some of them just really sharing their frustrations. But that's okay. But I had quite a few people say, James Chocolate Man in Thailand is in Phuket doing the sandbox scheme. I actually talked to James quite a few times here in the US. We never really could get together because we were pretty busy, and he decided to go back home. So people are going, James didn't have any problem. James went home like no problem at all. Like he just, bam, 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 bam. Maybe you should call him. Okay, let me back up from that and explain to you maybe a little bit more in detail, not to drag it out, but we never planned on doing the sandbox scheme. We didn't want to do that. We'd already booked our round trip ticket to go back into Bangkok. Number one reason why is we need to go to NakhonPhanom airport. So the only airport that flies from that anywhere in Thailand is from Bangkok. So if we did the Phuket, initially they weren't allowing anybody to go into Phuket unless you had a direct flight. Before we left, that was the deal. Now it's changed. So, but at first, when we were thinking about it, it's like, no, we can't even get there from America to Phuket. We have to go to Bangkok first and then go. So anyway, that changed quickly. James isn't traveling with a Thai wife either, and James doesn't have like 8 bags of luggage. We've got a lot of luggage because we're bringing back stuff to donate to the people in our neighborhood like we always do, and a bunch of stuff for some friends. So trying to tote that around. At first, when this whole thing started, was like, we're just going to do the 14-day and get it over with because we need to come back. We've been trying to come back for 2 years now. Nobody's been able to get in or leave Thailand because of the situation. So we had an opportunity to do that. So we just did it, and luckily it dropped down to 7. We changed our plans for the 7, and now here we are today with the 0 quarantine, and this is what I want to talk to you about basically, other than some of your concerns on why we're not doing the Phuket sandbox. We just didn't. Only do what makes sense to you on your travels 100%. So if that makes sense to you, come the 1st, there's going to be a lot more options of places for you to do like a sandbox or like a whatever they call it, the bubble thing. But so I want to talk to you about current information. I did a video a few months ago on how to enter Thailand in 2021.
Phone line 4, Swansea Company 320 inbound to gate 108 is clear. 3097, turn south for the next 4. Thank you, bye-bye.
Ready for recap? 0 and okay. 07 right, no changes. 5,000 pounds, example. Full standard, having selected. 7 dB, injection on your height. No length. Any questions?
The video still sticks. You could go on the video and go on the ASQ website. It's a very important website to go to get current information about what's happening. And with this information, it also has links on how to obtain stuff, hotel, ASQs, AQs, sandbox, agencies, all kinds of stuff. Easiest way for you probably to come if you haven't already prearranged your round trip from Thailand, or you're coming from your country to go to Thailand, is to hire an agency. That's the easiest way to do. That's exactly what James did. He hired an agency, and bam, in 3 days he was already had his stuff ready to go. He just needed to fly there. So that's the easiest thing to do. And, you know, in a crunch, we just have to start over. Me and Paige will do that, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. So first off, let me tell you about the new, let me get on the computer here. Hang on, no minute right here. The COE is going away. All right, we've already known that. It's going to be just a QR code on your phone that you're going to show immigration. It's going to have all the information that they've discussed on what it, now there was a CCSA report. I'll share a little clip to that right here.
Before our briefing ends, I would like to take some time to respond to some of the questions we have received through our Facebook channel regarding the new Thailand Pass system and the current Certificate of Entry or COE system. And that is that first, the CSSA would like to inform and underline that you may still register for COEs before the new Thailand Pass system becomes operational on the 1st of November. So again, the COE is still in existence. We are still accepting the applications right up until the 1st of November when we transition to the Thailand Pass. Secondly, all COEs that have already been issued will remain valid after 1st of November. So please do not worry about the COEs becoming invalid early next month. This, I hope, will help in the planning and the arrangements you are making for travel to Thailand. For now, we are seeing a downward trend in both the number of infections and the number of fatalities. Some businesses are reopening, and we are now headed towards the reopening of the country. Nevertheless, the CCSA, would like to highlight once again the importance of universal prevention and for everyone to continue to follow public health regulations for your own safety and the safety of those around you. That's all I have for today.
Now, she didn't really tell us a whole lot of information other than they're still ironing out the details. So hopefully we'll have this information prior to the 1st, but let's just say we're not. I'm going to just say we're not going to know anything until the 1st of November. But you can actually still go today on a certificate of entry, and it says that they're now, this isn't finalized until it's in the Gazette, until they've sat down and hashed out what their thoughts are, and it's published. But they're considering lowering the insurance down to $50,000 instead of $100,000. There's a list of countries, and this I'm getting a lot of heat from, especially my Canadian followers, about not being able to come into Thailand on the list of approved countries for vaccinated tourists. So right now, pending final approval, they're going to have Thailand Blue Zone starting October. As of right now, we got Phuket, Surat Thani, Koh Samui, Koh Phang, Koh Tao, Phang Na, Koh Lak, Koh Yao, Krabi, Koh Phi Phi, Koh Ngai, Railay, Klong Muang, and That Kiat. And it's going to expand after November 1st. So if you are vaccinated and you are coming from an area that's not on the list, you're still able to come to Thailand and go through the blue zone without quarantine. Out of the whatever the blue zone's going to be. They're working real hard this month to get their vaccinations done in Thailand. Like they did 1 million vaccinations yesterday, which was amazing, but they're working real hard to try to get that done so they can expand the list of countries. For low-risk countries, you can travel anywhere in Thailand. Travelers from medium-risk countries have to remain in the blue zone for 7 nights at the SHA Plus hotel before they can travel to other parts of Thailand. And that's going to be the people that aren't on the list. Now, they're going to have a list of countries that just can't come in, I'm sure, still available. So what's happening with us is Paige's certificate of entry got denied because she didn't have a return flight back to the U.S. Our plan wasn't for her to come back. Our plan was to just get her an entry into Thailand, go to the immigration, get her visa extended for a year, and then when Thailand opens up, we'll just leave the country, go do a little traveling like we always do, and she'll just come back as a Thai citizen and be done with that mess. It's no big deal. But we're going to change her, and I talked about this before, and I guess there was some confusion about getting her name changed and the difficulties of it. Me and Paige have already been registered as being married because I came to Thailand on a marriage visa because I was only 46 when I got there. So we've already been registered in our province as being married, but that has nothing to do with the name change. Thai people change their names all the time. It's really fairly easy to do in Thailand for a Thai. So she's just going to change her name to the same name on her passport in the U.S. That's not a problem. I'll bring you guys along for that because a lot of people are married to Thai in the West, in the States, and they are having similar questions about our situation, you know. So we just resubmitted our certificate of entry. I got Paige a return ticket back to the States that could be, you know, that can be changed easily. Right now during COVID, like it's really easy to change tickets. I think we've already done it 3 times. So I was thinking about doing it a 4th time, but I think we're just gonna wait and see if the COE that I just submitted gets approved and go from there. I sent them an email, had them reopen mine again because it was already approved so I could change the date and the flight information. We just contacted the AXA insurance we had a little issue with them because of, we needed to cancel it because we weren't sure we were gonna need it for Paige, and the date was not correct. She got denied, so we were gonna just wait. So anyway, they wouldn't change it. They wouldn't refund us our money back unless we could prove that it was denied. And we sent them the denial, and they said, well, it has to be a denial from the fact that the insurance is not required. But that's not what it says on their website. Anyway, she sent them another email and had it extended, the start date, from the time that we're going on the 3rd of November. So we still have the insurance, so we just submitted everything again, so we'll see what happens if it gets approved. If it gets approved, then we can enter Thailand on the 3rd on the certificate of entry. Now, one thing I'm unclear about is if you go through the process today to do the certificate of entry, it asks you to do the ASQ hotel information. And there's not a way to just do it for one night, and that's another thing I want to talk about in a minute. It asks you to do the 7-day or 7 nights, prepay for that. So the difficulty, and it was really easy for us to cancel our ASQ, but you have to read in the fine print. Now, if you go through a second party agency to do this, you may not get a refund, but you need to read the fine print to see if the hotel that you're picking offers refunds. Ours did if you canceled within 3 days, and they canceled it with no problem. So they're talking about also on the Thai Pass. I know this information is getting kind of jumbled up. I'm sorry, it's very confusing for me. And I really don't have like a detailed list of how to explain this. So I'm just kind of going with the flow here on what I see. And this is really just secondhand information until it comes out officially. They're talking about you have to stay 1 night in a quarantine type hotel until you get your final results from the PCR test. The PCR test is beyond, I mean, I don't quite understand that. So you have to take a PCR test 72 hours prior to getting on the airplane. You get on the airplane and you get to Thailand. So what are you gonna get COVID on the airplane? You have to do another test right when you land. I mean, is the test not really that accurate, and is the airline really not safe? But anyway, that's their requirement. They want you to take that test, and I think they're lowering the cost of that. It should be, as of now, I think they actually lowered the cost of the PCR test in Thailand. For us, it's going to be free. You can do it free. If you want to do it in 1 hour here, or it costs money, but here in America, you can get it for free. But I think we're going to have to pay because of the time frame that we have. So I'm so confused. Yeah, so hopefully we get that, and then we just show she said this morning or last night in Thailand or yesterday afternoon in Thailand that we just show the certificate of entry approval, and that's it. So anyway, it's not super easy, of course, to get into Thailand like it was 3 years ago, but it is what it is. As of right now, you can get in on a certificate of entry. The easiest way to do is just hire an agency, pay the fee, which is really not that much, and then come into Thailand. Or just wait till after, really, to be honest with you, when everybody knows this who's ever been to Thailand, whenever they come up with a rule or a rule change, it's just like a shot in the dark. You know, they implement something, and then they really don't think too far of the consequences, or they don't really think about anything. They just make the law, and then they deal with the fallout later. They go, okay, and then they'll blame it on somebody else, and then they'll change the rules, or they'll get rid of it. So I would wait until December. I would give it a month. But that's just me. I almost decided the other day just to do the damn quarantine and get it over with. Just say, I told Paige, and we went back and forth, and I lost the battle. I said, let's just go on the 26th. And we'll just be done with the quarantine and be finished with it. But we're gonna wait. And I'm gonna be patient. We've been here actually a little over a month longer than I wanted to be here. We've had a really great time. The problem is everybody else has got stuff to do, and we're just kind of in limbo. So anyway, I've got stuff to do at my mom's house to get her prepared. My mom is in good spirits. Her house is sold as of today. We just got to go through the process of the closing stuff and figure out what we're going to do with her things. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next few days. I'm sure there's some stuff that I forgot about. I'm going to share the links to these places that I'm rambling on about, and you can look at them yourself. If you want to check out the How to Get to Thailand in 2021 video, I'll leave that here. And there's some helpful information still that is current with today's confusion. Anyway, that's just it in a nutshell. And actually not a nutshell, I don't know what you'd call that, but anyway, it is what it is. Stay tuned for a video actually coming out today in my time. This evening I've got an awesome video coming out. We just got back from Port Aransas, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to like it. But anyway, that's enough for rambling on. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.